Ecclesiastes chapter 3. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to gain and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. What profit has the worker from that in which he labors? I have seen the God-given task with which the sons of men are to be occupied. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, he has put eternity in their hearts, except that no one can find out the work that God does from beginning to end. I know that nothing is better for them than to rejoice and to do good in their lives, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of God. I know that whatever God does, it shall be forever. Nothing can be added to it, and nothing taken from it. God does it, that men should fear before him. That which is has already been, and what is to be has already been. And God requires an account of what is past. Moreover, I saw under the sun, in the place of judgment, wickedness was there, and in the place of righteousness, iniquity was there. I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. I said in my heart, concerning the condition of the sons of men, God tests them, that they may see that they themselves are like animals. For what happens to the sons of men also happens to animals. One thing befalls them, as one dies, so dies the other. Surely they all have one breath. Man has no advantage over animals, for all is vanity. All go to one place. All are from the dust, and all return to dust. Who knows the spirit of the sons of men, which goes upward, and the spirit of the animal, which goes down to the earth? So I perceived that nothing is better than that a man should rejoice in his own works, for that is his heritage. For who can bring him to see what will happen after him? So with this chapter, very famous text in all the scripture, lalo na yung first and second section, no? Verses 1 through 15. Kahit sa anong translation sa tayo, yan yung hatian ng sections. Then 16 yung last section. Very famous because ultimately of the richness of all or many kinds of theology na nakikita natin dito nga yung first and second section. So more on dun, pero komentan ko pa rin lahat. Sa first section, no, yan, ito, sikat na sikat in Christendom, yung everything has its time, no. So dito ang hari naglathala ng mga absolute seasons ng buhay, okay, or even I would say, so mga own words ko to, parang order of life, okay, like yun ba nabanggit dito sa verse 7, a time to keep silence next week, parang a time to keep silence sa akin para magbasa, pero now time to speak ko next week si Brother Manny, parang gano'n. So order of life via contrast, mga contrast siya dito, or pagdating pa sa kabuuan ng creation, parang ano siya, ito na yung endless cycle ng world. So napagmasdan nga ng Haring Solomon nung nga patapos na siya sa matanda na siya. Though pinakakaiba yung one time lang nangyayari yung sa verse 2, yung unang-unang contrast dito, which i-connect ko na lang sa last section. Okay? But then, so yon, basic interpretation yon, basic meaning na parang may order of life, lalo na pagdating nga sa mga kapatid natin sa full gospel, charismatic, ganyan yung interpretation lang nila dito. Then, banggitin ko lang din yung verse 11, ito yung pinaka-popular at least sa lahat talaga din ng scriptures na yung God has made everything beautiful in its time. So, yun nga, sa mga kapatid din natin sa full gospel, mga charismatic, kahit ako sa pinanggalingan ko, parang ang interpretation dito, perfect yung timing ng Lord. Well, first and foremost, tama naman talaga. No? So, every time na nagkakaroon tayo ng seemingly, lagi lang sa positive side na pag sa araw ng graduation, birthdays, kung ano man yung parang luckily ng magandang nangyari, kalooban ng Lord, beautiful time yun para sa'yo. Well, indeed, kung masaya talaga, kailangan natin mag-rejoice. But then, sa recent din na material na na-consume ko sa pag-aaral ko nito, or natutunan ko doon, or should I say, with that interpretation, parang reformed lens siya, okay, na yung beautiful in its time ay connected pa rin sa first section. Which, ang sinasabi ng ganong interpretation, kahit pa dito sa mga masasamang seasons or orders or cycles, beautiful pa rin yon sa Panginoon. Perfect yon. Therefore, I dare say, nakuha ko din sa material na yon, kahit sa mga bad times, sa mga dark times, learn to cherish or enjoy those moments. Kung pwede, i-share nyo sa iba. Though, kung personally, i-share ko din, I had just gone through also one bad time in my life. Not all of you know it. Kanina lang din may na-share akong brother. Sa experience ko, kailangan ko muna siyang tiisin lang. But kung kakayanin nyo, i-share nyo yung bad times. Itong mga time para mag-breakdown, time to weep, time to mourn. Perfect yan, beautiful yan in the sense or sa perspective ng Lord. Therefore, i-cherish natin yan. I-share ko siguro yung ganong interpretation. Hindi ko lang talaga alam pagdating sa mga kapatid natin sa full gospel na parang, may hina talaga yung sikmura nila. Pag masamang pagyayari, galing kay Satan agad. Parang ganon. Sa atin, kaya nga tayo reformed Tinatayuan natin yung sovereignty ng Lord. Alam pa natin sa book of Job, si Satan, bago yan gumawa ng masamang bagay sa atin, seemingly nagpapaalam muna yan sa Ama natin sa langit. So, bago pa siya magkaroon ng totoong authority or power, pahintulutan pa rin yun ng Ama natin sa langit. So, yun lang. Then, last, dito ako magbuhos ng comment ko, yung last section. Very brutal truth, lalo na sa generation ngayon. Generation Z and panibagong generation Alpha na naman, seemingly mga spineless kids or people, mga iyakin, na certainty of death. Okay? Pinapakita dito na as a biblical truth, lalo na a godly truth, kung sa panahon ngayon yung mga generation, mga bata ngayon, censor na to, parang hate speech na to, na all of us will die. Ikaw ay mamamatay, yung katabi mo, one day mamamatay, itong taong nasa harapan nyo ngayon, one day mamamatay. Yun na naman, isang hevel siya ng buhay. Bakit na naman ganon? We know, for biblical theology, it is because of sin, but other than that, kung yung mga tao, aaralin nila bakit kailangan natin mamatay, they won't have any answer, but at biblical truth pa rin, okay? Then, siguro, linawin ko lang din, di ba, may nabanggit dito na parang kinumpare tayo sa animal. Okay? Again, parang nabanggit ko na naman once or twice pagdating sa basic science. Siyempre, life form din ng plants. Pero, na-compare tayo dito sa animals, like para sa ating mga human, in the sense or in the context ng anatomy or physiology. In anatomy, physiology na parehas tayong fleshly beings ng animals. Unlike plants, wala silang organs, wala silang parts, kaya dito inahalin tulad ng Haring Solomon. Okay? But then, yung binanggit na di ba yung all return to dust? We know, tayong human beings lang ang ginawa from clay or dust na nagkaroon din ng breath of life, kaya tayo bumabalik sa dust. Kaya yung all dito, para sa human yan. Hindi, never nangyayari yan sa animals, or at least most of them. Ewan ko kung may nangyayari ganun din sa animals. Pero diba, pag nawala yung flesh nila, talagang nag-evaporate lang or nawawala. But tayo talaga ay bumabalik sa dust. Okay, so yan. One truth dito na makikita natin sa chapter na to. Isang truth din na dinideclare nito is the imminence of death. So primarily, or parang pag yung word na imminent in biblical theology, mas incorporated siya pagdating sa, ayun nga, inaturo na rin ni Brother Jeff, Day of the Lord, or other way of speaking it or saying is the return of Jesus Christ. Primarily, imminence means it will come soon. Okay, that will come soon, but the secondary meaning, and mas sinuhold ko pag alam ko yung word na imminent, ay sigurado siyang mangyayari. By definition pa ng dictionary, ano lang siya, likely will come. But with this biblical truth, our death for sure will come one day. Kung paano ang alas 6 ng gabi ay darating mamaya, ang kamatayan mo, kamatayan ko, kamatayan nating lahat, siguradong darating din. Okay? Then, yun nga, so brutal truth ito, parallel niya yung Hebrews 10, okay? It is appointed for a man to die once, then must, same words yung curse ni Adam sa Genesis 3, that for dust you are, and you came from the ground, so dust you are, so to dust you will also return. So simple exhortation, si kamatayan po ay mananalo sa ating lahat. Dahil din ay sinabi yon ng Diyos. Pinurpose niya yon, sinumpa niya ang unang mga magulang natin hanggang sa huling ipapanganak na lalaki o babae ay makakaranas ng kamatayan. Hindi po sinungaling ang Diyos, tutuparin niya yon. Although, side comment, medyo mag-exercise tayo. Sa biblical account, meron pang seemingly 2 taong hindi namatay, di ba? So mag-exercise tayo. Letter E, sino yung dalawa? Old Testament. Si Enoch, tsaka si Elijah, di ba? Si Enoch at si Elias. But for technical reasons, we also know, we believe, pagdating ng araw ng Panginoon, in a sense na, di ba, yung tinuturo ng New Testament na mag-change tayong lahat, mare-resurrect. Literally, kung nasaan man si Enoch, kung nasa langit ba talaga si Enoch and si Elias ngayon na naka-human form, kasi nga hindi daw sila namatay. So, medyo may debate na lang doon. But ultimately, pagdating pa rin ng Judgment Day, pag tinransform na sila sa resurrected body, doon pa lang siguro sila talaga makakaranas ng kamatayan na to. Therefore, God will also be true sa kanyang word. Okay? One last final words, just also to connect this truth doon sa nakomentan ko na sa chapter 1, isa nakita ko sa internet na quote. English siya, medyo tinagalog ko lang with some tweak. Let me just remind all of us. It said na bilang lang ang mga araw natin dito sa lupa. No? Susunduin ka ni kamatayan sa isang ordinaryong araw habang may mga plano ka pang hindi natatapos. At magpapatuloy ang mundo nang wala ka. Yun yung brutal na katotohanan, at I don't know kung paano natin matatanggap yon. Then siguro masabi ko lang din, katulad ng natutunan ko sa isang wise Christian woman sa former church, or isang wise sister natin doon nung mawawala na, nasa deathbed na yung father-in-law niya or yung biyanan niyang lalaki. Sinabi kasi nung biyanan niyang lalaki, natatakot siya mamatay. Ang binanggit ng sister natin doon, parang, Tay, ang kamatayan po hindi dapat katakutan, kundi dapat paghandaan. So, I will leave all of us with that question. Ready ka na ba talaga para sa araw na yon? Natuturo pa lang mga preachers natin time and time, bilang Reformed people pa nga, set na yung araw ng pagkapanganak natin. Nabanggit pa dito, set din yung araw ng pagkatapos ng buhay natin. Yung nga, ang tanong lang talaga, ready ba tayo para i-meet ang ating Creator? So, para sa ating lahat to, I know marami-rami naman sa atin. Pupunta kasi to sa issue ng assurance of salvation. Siguro, yun nga, kahit professor ng faith, lalo na kung hindi, nasa inyo po yung responsibilidad para paghandaan yung araw na yon. And yan lang ang masasabi ko. Get right with God para lang, kasi ang pinag-uusapan nga natin dito, that salvation, yung blissful and gracious presence ng Lord ang aabutan natin once we die, o para magkaroon din tayo ng peace sa buhay na to, knowing that one day mawawala tayo. So, get right with God and get right with God right now, because tomorrow might be too late.